it said that she lived like in the mountainside, right? And as she was living in the mountainside, which also just speaks to her level of ibadah, her khalwa, right? Like this khalwa and her being alone with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on a regular basis was something that she continued, that she, was building more and more and more in this relationship that she has with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and therefore never alone. So this one particular time that she was in the mountains, and Isa alayhi salam was there with her. And as she was sitting with him, that she was shown the angel of death, that she saw the angel of death in the distance. And she knew he's coming for me, right? Like this is my time. And so it said that she sent Isa alayhi salam out to go get milk. She sent him and said, go get some milk for me and bring it back. And so as he, which is so motherly in the sense that she knows he's not going to be able to handle this moment. And so just as in the moment that I was alone with the angels before you arrived, right? Let me be alone with them now. And so, subhanAllah, he went to get the milk and she went and laid down. And at that time, subhanAllah, the angels came and removed her soul. And so when Isa alayhi salam came back, he was standing there holding the milk to give it to her, that he had such adab that he didn't want to work her. He thought she was sleeping. And so it said that he stood there for an extreme amount of time, waiting for her to wake up, saying that when she wakes up, I will give her this milk. They said that he stood there so still, so patiently for such a long time that the angels begin to cry and begin to say, Ya Allah, give us permission to tell him. Give us permission to inform him. And Allah Azza wa Jal then gave the angels the permission to tell Isa alayhi salam that the angel of death had come in to take her soul. Subhanallah. And it says that he along with the angels, gave her ghusl and gave her and prayed her janazah, like prayed her funeral prayer, that Isa alayhi salam with the angels alone. Subhanallah. And as I think about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just interacted with this beautiful soul throughout her entire life. Her interactions with people, she only met them or left them for Allah's sake. Like either it's known that she lived her life, subhanAllah, either she is in study or she's giving out sadaqah, and she would, as we know, she gave out so much sadaqah while fasting, right? Like it's an inward and an outward. She's giving out sadaqah while fasting, that she would fall into unconscious states, which is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would then send her food from heaven, subhanAllah. And then, she'd wake up and she'd find Allah has taken care of her again, right? Allah has provided for her again. And then she's in these quiet moments of seclusion, contemplating what she's listened to and what she's learned. And so either what we find in Mariam's life, she's either being visited by those she's giving sadaqah to, the prophets, like her uncle Zakaria, right? Or Isa, or the angels. Like her suhbah is so, she's chosen the people, right? That either I'm benefiting them or I'm alone with my Lord and his prophets. SubhanAllah. And so to think about, of course, as everyone knows, when you mention Mariam, doesn't matter who you are in the world, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, like people know Mariam to be a woman of purity, right? To be a woman of purity. So it's like, of course, that her ending would be the way that she lived her life, right? Of course, her ending would be that, she would be alone with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and angels, right? Or alone with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, angels and a prophet, that of course she would pass away in this dunya with who's present, except subhanAllah, a prophet of Allah and the angels. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. And so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would give her such a blessed Mubarak ending speaks to, sometimes this, we view being alone as loneliness. But what Mariam teaches us is that what it means to be with Allah is never a sense of loneliness, but just this constant elevation and expansion, and to be as known as this woman was, right? who doesn't know her? Everyone knows her. You know her name. SubhanAllah. She's known. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would make her known. It said the one, remember me and I shall remember you. So if you remember me, right, to yourself, I shall remember you to myself. You remember me in a company, I shall remember you in a greater company. And so here she is spending so much time in the remembrance of Allah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make his beloved known.